Hey everyone, today I'm going to talk to you about Typeless. Typeless is an application that I have grown to love. It allows you to type anything that you say, but not only that, it makes it more polished than what you actually say. If you repeat yourself or list anything out, it will correct it and format it for you automatically. Now, over the past couple weeks, I've been using Typeless and I've tried to integrate it into several different workflows to really get an idea of what it can do. And there are three core parts of Typeless. First, dictate. Whatever you say will get typed in whatever application that you're working with. Next is asking. Anything that you select on a website or anything inside of your notes automatically show a description, provide information, or help you reformat and refine the text. And then finally, translate. You can select any part of your text and translate it into a different language. But you can also talk naturally and it will translate it as you dictate, which I have found to be quite good compared to other tools like Google Translate. Now, just like I do with any other tool, I want to dive in and show you how it works. I have Typeless installed, but you can go to typeless.com to download it for a Mac, PC, iOS, or Android. Now, once you have it downloaded, there are a couple of things like accessibility settings that you'll need to allow in order to get it set up and running. Now, once it's running, you can use it in whatever application that you're working with. Now, I'm going to pull up a note here, and inside of the notes, I'm going to go ahead and start the dictation of Typeless just by hitting the function key. Now, keep in mind that this may be different on Windows. Now, as soon as you hit the function key, you'll see a little icon with a speech bubble at the bottom. And at this point, you just start talking. Now, as you talk, it will actually capture everything that you say and format it better than your spoken words. Even if you repeat or correct yourself, it will remove mistakes and automatically format the text and make it sound better. Now, once you're done talking, just go ahead and hit the function key again. It may take a second, but it will generate the text for you inside of the application. Now see here, take a look at the text that it generated. There are no repetitions and no mistakes. Now, I don't know about you, but a lot of my work when I'm typing is actually deleting mistakes or having to retype something. So having it correct my mistakes for me is huge. Now, honestly, I am not the best typist. My wife makes fun of me when she has to watch me type. So being able to just hit the function key and start talking is great. Now, like I mentioned, you can do this in any tool. I can do this inside of notes, chats, or my messages as well. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up my messages and send myself a message saying, hey, if you're going to the store, can you pick up some milk, bread, and cottage cheese? Now notice when I hit the function key at the end, it will create a list for me automatically. Not only that, it will also take out mistakes. So I'm going to go ahead and try to make a mistake here. Let's say that I'm going to be saying, hey, I want you to pick up some bread. No, actually pick up some jelly. Now, when I hit the function key at the end of that, you'll see that it ignored the bread initially and just has the jelly. If you're a fast typer, that's great. But even if you aren't, being able to dictate and have it automatically format is a massive benefit. Now let's try something a little bit longer. All right, I'm just going to talk something through a little bit more naturally and kind of think out loud as if I were working on something. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the function key. So let's say I'm planning out a quick video. Actually, not a video, more like a small learning interaction. What I want to do is create something simple where the user clicks a few different options and gets feedback based on their choices. At first, I was thinking it could be more like a quiz. No, actually more like a scenario-based interaction where each decision leads to a different outcome. That way it feels more like a little more engaging. That way it feels more like it's a little bit more engaging. I probably will start with a short introduction, then give it maybe 3 choices, and then based on what they pick, I'll show some feedback and let them try again if they want. Now, I might even track their choices so I can show a summary at the end. Okay, so let me go ahead and stop the dictation. Now, the cool thing here is normally I'd have to go back, clean up, or rewrite some parts, but as you can see, Typeless is already organizing my thoughts into something that actually makes sense, without me having to go back and edit everything. Now, it does take a little bit of getting used to because instead of thinking through your fingers, you're speaking out loud. Now, I find that when I'm scripting a video, for example, I think differently when I'm typing than I do when I'm actually speaking. So most of the time I have to go back and say it out loud anyways to make sure that it makes sense. If I'm saying it out loud to begin with, it could save me a whole lot of time. I also really love that it separates it out into different paragraphs. As I'm dictating, it creates different paragraphs automatically. So I don't even need to think about that. I just basically talk, and it will automatically format the paragraphs for me. So that's dictation. It does take some practice when you're going to speak it out loud rather than type it, but I find it saves me a whole lot of time. Now I'm going to go ahead and try a couple of other things. I want to get into the ask feature. Instead of hitting the function key, if you're going to ask something, you actually select the text, or this could be text on a website, or it could be text inside a Word or whatever application that you're working with. And then instead of just hitting the function key, you hit the function and spacebar. Now, when you hit the function and spacebar, you'll see the ask window pop up. It's very similar to the dictation window, but in this case, you're asking something about the selected text. The asking could be something like, clarify this, or what does this mean? Summarize this for me. But it can also be used for things where you ask it to adjust text, make it more clear, or change it into something else. So I'm going to go ahead and go to a website real quick. Select some text, and then I'm going to go ahead and hit the function plus the spacebar. Now, once I have some text selected, I'll just go ahead and say, what does this mean? Now, to end the request after you're done asking, you can go ahead and just hit the function key again. Now it will pull up a little window inside of Typeless and process the selected content to give you a description or a summary. Now, at any point, you can look up specific content, ask for clarification on what you've selected, or have it simplify or reformat the text. Now, that's how you look stuff up and ask questions about content that already exists. Now let's go ahead and try this out with some text that we've written. I'm going to go into our messages and start to dictate a note. When I'm working on my iPhone, I can easily swipe down to adjust my focus mode so I don't get disturbed. Now I'll just select the text and ask it to change it into an instructional tweet format. Now you can see just by doing that, it automatically reformats that thought into a tweet where I can copy and paste. I can do the same thing with an entire paragraph. I'll select the text and say, hey, can you change this into a LinkedIn post and expand upon it a little bit more? Doing that will change the format and expand upon the text. Normally, I would have to copy and paste it into ChatGPT or Claude, but being able to do it right here is tremendously helpful. So that's asking. Let's go ahead and talk about the last thing, translate. Translate is basically like dictation, but instead you're going to translate it into a different language. Now, you usually set up your target language when you're going through the install, but you can also access it through the Typeless icon at the top. If you select the icon and go into settings, you'll see a window where you can view your target language. Now, this is the language that you're probably going to be translating the most into, though you can always change it to something else as well. Now, to start a translation, hit the function key and the left shift key. Speak just like you would normal dictation. For example, I'm going to say, where's the library? Once you're done, hit the function key again. Now you can see that it's automatically translated it into Spanish. If you're a Community fan, you'll understand the reference here. Now here's the cool thing. If you do need another language, you can use the ask feature to translate it. I just select the text and ask, what does this mean? By hitting the function plus the spacebar. And asking that, you'll see that the translation window popped up. Now, while there are other tools that do similar things, the nice thing about Typeless is that it's integrated into any tool that you're using. You don't have to pull up ChatGPT, Claude, or other applications to start a dictation or have a chat. You basically use it in whatever application that you're used to. If you want to check out the pricing, you could head on over to typeless.com. When you first create an account, you get a 30-day free trial of the Pro plan. And even after that, there's a free tier that lets you keep using it. The free tier does have a word limit per week, but honestly, it's generous enough to give you a real feel for whether this is going to fit into your workflow. If you find yourself hitting the limit, the Pro plan runs about $12 a month on the annual plan. I've already integrated this into so many different workflows and have found it extremely helpful. Now, I want to cover some real-world workflows in a few more videos, but this video was mainly intended to be an overview of the basic parts of Typeless, being able to dictate, being able to use the ask feature to reformat content and help clarify content as well, and then also being able to translate content into different languages. Now, if you do end up trying it out, drop a comment below and let me know what workflow you've plugged it into first. I'm very curious on that. And if you do want me to go deeper into any of these features with real hands-on workflows, let me know and I'll keep the series going. If this was helpful for you, Make sure that you hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss any future video. That's all I have for today, so thanks everyone. I'll see you next time.